Good evening. We'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome everyone.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the schedule of meetings adopted at the organizational meeting held on January 3rd, 2024. Adequate notice of this regular meeting of the Kenilworth Board of Education has been provided to the Home News Tribune, the Kenilworth, the Star Ledger, the local source on January 11th, 2024. A copy has been filed with the Kenilworth Borough Clerk, posted in the board office in the Kenilworth Borough Hall, Brearley and Harding Schools, as is provided by the Open Public Meetings Act.
Thank you, Mr. Cannell. Please rise and join us in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Cannell, can you please have roll call?
Biner. Here. David. Here. Drogan.
Here.
Ferrara.
Here.
Abather. Here. Ladati.
Here.
Panici.
Here.
Tiers.
Here.
Zimmerman.
Here.
All present.
Thank you so much. At this time, superintendent's reports and presentations. Do we have anything, or do we want to circle back?
We'll circle back on that.
Okay, so then we will, let's see, hang on. So at this time, we will move on, we can circle back, and we'll move on to report of committees, board resolution and board discussion. Finance and facilities up first, Mr. Ladati.
Okay, I'm just going to briefly touch on the resolutions. Resolution 1 is transfer to reserves. 2 is the insurance package, and we covered everything we could possibly have for insurance for the school district. 3 is student accident insurance. 4 is security drills. 5 is lead testing, water testing, and Nance and I, Vince, were just talking about, we were way ahead of everybody in New Jersey on this. Years and years ago, we started testing our water and changing our water fountain, so kudos to, I guess Vince kind of started that. 6 is the Class 3 law enforcement officer agreement. 7 is the school resource officer agreement. 8 is New Jersey Stride. I know some people have some questions on that. Resolution 9 is supplement stabilization aid, and that's it. So I'll field any questions you may have.
Vince, what's the transfer, reserve transfer amounts? Can you share
So
that?
in June every year, this is a
No,
standard.
I know what it is. What are the amounts?
That won't be finals until the audit. So, because there's a whole bunch of the extraordinary aid comes into play, as miscellaneous revenues come into play. So we give ourselves flexibility to allow the maximum amount of transfers. So it's gonna be a decent number this year.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to replenish some of the free balance, because at least go up to the maximum 2%, because we're really low on that. So give us some more flexibility. It's the strategies that we'll talk to the auditors at the time, whether we want to actually put in a little excess to allow it to go into excess free balance, so we have to appropriate it, which will give us some flexibility, because remember, we appropriated $1.7 million for free balance, so we have to try to make up that difference. So maintenance reserve, I'm not that concerned about maintenance reserve or capital reserve, because we are making the interest on the bond proceeds. We're still, picking up about $100,000 a month in interest from the bond proceeds. We'll probably do that for another six months or so, until the construction on the addition is really up to full speed. So my concern is really the free balance and trying to stabilize that. So next year, when we're developing the budget, we're not in a situation where we don't have any money to appropriate. I use the term kicking the can down the road. We're still kicking the can down the road. One more year is one more year. We keep doing that, but would be nice to have the financial stability of not having to do that, but it is what it is with the state aid the way it is.
Okay.
What resolution was that you were talking about?
Excuse me?
Number one.
That's number one, the transfer amounts to reserves.
Resolution 6? Do we have someone here now doing that?
Both buildings, we have one in Harding and one
Okay.
in Brew, in addition to this
To
SRO.
the SRO, yeah.
So we have 3.
No, I know that, I've known that, I just didn't, I don't hang around the school much during the day, I didn't know, so there's 2 that we've hired and have been fine all this time?
Yes.
Okay, so, all right.
Harding has had a SLEO for maybe 4 years now.
I'm sorry?
Harding has had the SLEO for 4 years. The SRO is here. But a lot of times the SRO isn't always in the building. They have to do training, they have to do, go up to PD to do various things. So last year, if you recall, when we got the additional state aid, that's what we decided to do, is put the SLEO here, so that person's here every day, basically.
So they've been here, and they're professional police, retired police officers?
Retired Kenilworth police.
Right, okay, there you go. Thank you.
Both of them are retired Kenilworth police.
Okay, because it doesn't
Which
say
is
the
nice.
course, I really, maybe it's not the time, but I had a little issue with the course, it was 2%, now we're doing $2, and there was no really discussion about that, it was just done.
No, it wasn't, there wasn't. I had proposed
I know.
2% to the chief, and like I said in my email to the full board,
I understand.
that,
I
we're
just-
well below what other communities are paying their SLEOs.
But they're not leaving, and they're good. I'm
I
just
don't know if
saying,
they will leave if we don't give them a good rate. They could go to any other district and
they've
make.
had 2%, what I'm saying is, I just didn't like the way it was done, it was done between two people and not with the personnel, so. That's
I did inform the full board.
I
of all that.
understand.
So it's not like I did it in isolation,
I have
so.
an issue with just rate stuff.
Okay, still wanna get-
That it was a decision
I
that
did.
was gonna be on this resolution tonight,
Yes.
there was
And
no,
he did mention it to the finance committee also.
well, the personnel, okay. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
that's it.
And also, resolution 9, professional development, like some of the stuff was cut and some of it wasn't. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So this is what we talked about last week on June 10th. The first column, amount cut, represents what we cut back in March to get the budget to
Yeah, I know.
to level. And the amount restored is where we restored the areas.
These particular, and this is just not just for me, the particular choices to give back is what was based on that.
It's what we reviewed last week. You want me to review it again?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pull up.
I'm just saying, the
you want me to-
staffing, it was, so some of the staffing went back, but there's still a lot missing.
Correct,
So there's, a lot of people are
because we
still-
only got $633,000, so I couldn't put, if everything, if we got $1.5 million back, we would have considered
understand.
adding additional programs
Okay.
and staffing.
So there's no professional development.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, there's still professional development,
Understood.
but that, we're not restoring any professional development to what was cut.
All right, that's good. Thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
Anyone else, any questions for Mr. Ladati?
Okay, let me just go on negotiations.
Yeah, just want,
So,
no questions about anything he's talked about thus far.
So I'm pleased to report that on June 13th, a tentative memorandum of agreement was reached between the board and the association. Following the settlement, the board and the association will collaborate on drafting of the salary guides. Once the salary guides are reviewed and approved by the negotiation committees, ratification of the memorandum of agreement salary guides will be placed on the agenda for approval. Until the agreement is fully ratified, the specific terms shall remain confidential. And this was probably one of the best, smoothest negotiations that I've had, and I've been on here for 15 years now. I think it's all part of the union reps, with the committee, Paulette, John, and Ryan, and the hard work of Vince being here every night. We're here for a lot of nights, so I think we got it done. I think it was a successful conclusion to negotiations, so that's all I want to say.
Anybody else questions? No. Comments? Thank you very much. Okay, we'll now move on to personnel and management, Mr. Haberthorn.
Thank you. There were 18 resolutions on the docket tonight, but number 15 has been removed because the person who had accepted the position backed out at the last minute, so there are 17. Resolution 10 are changes to secretarial staff. Resolution 11 is a resignation. Resolution 12 is transfers and reassignments. Resolutions 13 and 14 are new hires, one being an elementary grade 2 teacher and the other being a student assistant counselor. Resolutions 16 through 18 are 2024-2025 stipend positions. Resolutions 19 through 23 are summer 2024 program staffing. Resolution 24 is the approval of Mr. Gannella's contract. Resolution 15 are coach and training services, and that is all for personnel.
Anyone questions for Mr. Habergar?
Resolution 12, but probably Kyle should be here for this, or maybe someone else could answer it. It said these changes in staff, number 12, it was not voluntary, so I guess the question is, are they upset about it?
Is that
I don't think
relevant to
I
the
don't think
student
we
news?
could really talk about personnel
yeah.
Oh,
matters.
sorry,
Yeah,
okay.
it's also not relevant to,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right,
what someone wants and where student needs are, so we can talk about it.
okay.
Thank you.
Just one question, because I know some people may ask, what's the difference between a student assistance counselor and a guidance counselor?
You want to answer?
Jeremy, you want to take that one?
Yeah,
I mean, I can from a uneducated position, but.
Student assistance counselor deals a lot with substance abuse use, also just cases of crisis. So a guidance counselor has an assigned caseload. The student assistance counselor does not have an assigned caseload, but deals with issues that arise throughout the school day. Where a guidance counselor might be having a junior meeting with a parent and a student who's talking about post-secondary planning, and one of their other students comes in crisis, they can't pop out of that meeting necessarily, they go to the student assistance counselor. But that student assistance counselor also is developing programs district-wide for anti-vaping, anti-marijuana use, and educating students.
So that would be their only role, dealing with students in times of crisis and setting up, like you said, programs for
Yeah,
the
they also,
assemblies
also like
and
Week of
whatever.
Respects, Red Ribbon Week, all of those events that happen throughout the school year, they have a key role in it. We also have assigned them, like we have new students, the SAC does new student orientations, new student mixers, and so works with our populations of students. Any population that may be deemed as fragile or needing additional assistance from what a typical guidance counselor.
And who has handled those duties, like you said, Red Ribbon Week, which has been going on for decades now?
So we've had a
in
SAC for the
lieu
last
of?
2 years. So that's.
So this is a new person replacing
Same
someone
role.
who's left.
I have a question, is that to piggyback, so they work with the SRO, the police officer?
They do, yeah.
They do.
Yeah, they go to the municipal alliance meetings in town.
Yeah, I know.
Go to the SRO.
Thank you.
Anybody else, any questions for Mr. Habergar? Okay. Ms. Tears, curriculum instruction.
There's one resolution tonight, Resolution 26, and that is the approval of the McKinney-Vento Collaborative Grant Application.
Any questions for Ms. Tears on that resolution? Mr. Ganal, do you want to go with other resolutions, or would you like me to read them, or?
Yeah, I mean, the other resolutions are the good news.
27,
We, originally, our plan was to approve the superintendent's contract, our new superintendent's contract, tomorrow night, but the executive county superintendent worked diligently and got us the agreement back and approved for consideration this evening. So we felt it wasn't necessary for us to come out for another hot night, and we could consolidate it into tonight. So this contract is to appoint and approve the superintendent's contract for a 4-year agreement starting July 1st, 2024, ending June 30th, 2022. Along with those responsibilities as superintendent, the superintendent also is the treasurer of school monies, and something I don't even know if he knew was on the road, but I'm gonna have to give him a crash course on how to be a treasurer of school monies. But that will also be effective July 1st for the remainder of the organizational year. Any questions regarding that?
No, he'll just be working until 2028.
Hmm?
You said 2022.
24 too?
It's
Okay.
to 28.
28, yes. Okay.
No questions for Mr. Ganella? This time, we'll move on to old business.
Well, you want to go back to?
Oh, do you
circle
want
back
to, yes.
To the superintendent's report?
Do you want to go back, Mr. Ganella?
I
Can you do
do.
that before we go
I
to old and new?
apologize for my
No, no, no,
tardiness.
no.
Of course, dealing with an issue. Good evening, everybody. Yeah. That's my graduation speech. This is my Jeremy speech. I've had the pleasure of hiring several effective school leaders during my tenure here in Kenilworth. Chief among them is Jeremy Davies. Jeremy has led Burley Middle High School with integrity, passion, and personal commitment. always centering the needs of the young people our schools serve. He has brought a fresh, innovative perspective to Kenilworth by introducing new course selections, helping to imagine new physical classroom spaces, and prioritizing college and career readiness. Equally impressive are the high expectations he has set for his students, his teachers, and himself. While he leads with focus and a bit of levity, never taking himself too seriously, he does take up teaching and learning as serious work, moving us forward with a sense of urgency and vision. Mr. Davies' principal interview process was a bizarre one, given it was in the midst of the pandemic. However, even during his series of Zoom interviews, he shone as the right leader at the right time for Brewerly. After his principal interview with a panel of teachers, one teacher wrote to me and said, "Kyle, this guy was a class act. Can you bypass the other steps and just offer him the job already?" I'm only half kidding. A few other teachers on the panel were equally bold in applying a healthy amount of pressure on me, one even going so far as to say, "You better close the deal and get this guy here." Luckily we did. From those initial meetings to today, Mr. Davies has proven to be a person of his word. After one of his interviews in 2020, he followed up an email by indicating to me and the other administrators with whom he met that day, quote, "I don't always have all the answers, but what I can promise you is that in those moments of not knowing, I will work tirelessly to bring a team together to discover answers. That's my wheelhouse, listening to people who experience things from an alternate perspective, analyzing and synthesizing information, devising a shared solution to a problem or an answer to a question, moving forward collectively." Time and time again, Mr. Davies has proven that the abilities he previewed for us in that follow-up email were not obligatory platitudes. They reflect the real abilities and talents he has for solving complex problems and building community. I know he will bring these leadership, mindsets, and moves to the position of superintendent and lead with vision, integrity, and a student-first approach. Jeremy, I'm proud of you and excited to learn about all of the great things I know you will accomplish in the role. Congratulations.
That deserves a response.
Did I really write that? That was pretty good.
A little gift for you I have is the teacher who told me I better get it done, the email,
I appreciate that.
and your response. Yep.
Thank you. Kyle, thank you so much for those kind words. I very much appreciate all of your leadership during these past 4 years. I've learned and grown so much underneath you, and your leadership has helped me really expand and grow, and I believe make me ready for this next position. To the board, I just want to say thank you for entrusting the district in my hands. When I think over the last few weeks, I've had a lot of really wonderful emotions as I've thought about closing out one chapter of my career here as principal of David Brewerly and moving on to the next chapter. And the words that come to mind are honored, committed, and privileged. When I think about honored, I feel like I'm honored by you and your trust in me. So I feel really honored to be becoming the next superintendent of Kenilworth Public Schools. So thank you. I really am honored. Committed, because I truly am committed to this district, like I've been committed to this school. I want to see us grow. I want to see us improve. I want to see us change for the better. We have great teachers. We have great students. We have great families here. And putting that all together is going to give me no greater joy. So I look forward to that, and I'm committed to doing that work. It's going to be hard work. I know that. My wife knows that. My daughter knows that. They weren't able to be here tonight, but I look forward to them meeting you at some point in the future. And the third idea that I've been thinking about is just the privilege. I believe that it is a privilege to serve as a superintendent, just like I believe that it's always a privilege to be an educator, no matter what level I've been at. So I truly believe that it is a privilege to serve the community of Kenilworth. So I hope also that you can come to graduation tonight. I've catered my graduation speech to kind of those thoughts as well as I've been navigating this transition. So I'm honored, I feel privileged, and I'm committed to you. So thank you so much for entrusting the district's future in me. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Does that conclude presentation?
It does.
Just checking. Okay, at this time, we'll now move on to old business. Is there any old business at this time?
Just thank everybody for all the hard work and Kyle for what he's been to all of us. I believe you'll be missed. And we will work so hard. Greg and Ryan, I finally remember your name. All of us. I just want to thank you all for all the hard work you do. And Vince, please take a vacation. That's all I have to say. Congratulations.
Okay, any new business? Okay, at this time, we will now open up the meeting to the public for comment. Is there a motion to open up the meeting to the public?
Motion to open.
Second?
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. David, seconded by Mr. Ferrero. All those in favor of opening the meeting to the public, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, ayes have it, motion carried. Mr. Ganella?
Yes, public comment will now be accepted. The Board of Education sets the limit for the public to speak at the board meeting to 5 minutes per person unless prior permission has been granted by the Board of Education to extend time pursuant to Kenilworth Board of Education bylaw 0167. If you approach the podium, please leave your name and your address prior to making your comments.
Is there any public that would like to make a comment at this time? No? Okay.
Make a motion to close the public portion of the meeting?
Okay, motion made by Mr. David, seconded by Mrs. Tiers. All those in favor of closing the meeting to the public, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. Meeting is now closed to the public. Mr. Ganella, can we have a roll call of resolutions, please?
Yes, there are 28 resolutions on the agenda. Number 15 has been removed from board consideration, so this is for resolutions 1 through 28 minus number 15. Do any others need to be voted on separately?
Well, we don't have closed session before we're voting on number 27?
No. That wasn't on the,
I misunderstood the message then from Kyle about the other
Not on there.
situation. I had a couple of questions about that I had wanted to ask before voting on number 27, but
if you make a motion to table it until the closed session and second it, we can move it there.
all right, I'll make a motion to table number 27.
Okay.
And I would like to remove Resolution 6.
Wait.
No,
sorry.
There's a
okay.
motion to table it. It needs a second or a
Resolution, table number 27 until after closed session. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion made by Mrs. Zimmerman, seconded by Mrs. Drogan. All those in favor of,
I'll do roll call.
okay.
Viner?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Drogan?
Yes. Yes.
Ferrara?
Yes.
Haberther?
The vote is to, I'm sorry.
The
can I
vote
say-
is to
Table
table to go to closed session.
Okay.
Haberther?
Abstain?
Ladati?
No.
Tiers?
I'm sorry, I'm very confused.
So they want to take 27 off,
So-
move into closed
so-
session before we vote on
Vote on
anything.
it.
Oh, no.
Zimmerman?
Yes.
Panici?
No.
Okay, motion carries. It will go into, we will table that motion to go into closed session.
Do you want to go into close or vote on the other ones and then go into close?
So, go back, resolution, this is for resolutions,
Wait, but I think Paulette still had some other questions she was
No,
trying to
I,
mention.
on my
I'm
packet
assuming,
that I
I'm
got-
assuming that includes number, we need to have a motion table number 28 too, or is that okay? They kind of go in tandem.
Well, yeah, I guess you would have to,
Yeah.
Number 27. So what's the purpose of moving it?
You'd have to ask Mrs. Zimmerman.
Nancy has some questions, so that's something.
I had a couple of questions that I wanted to discuss, but they have to be discussed in closed session.
Okay. I'll leave
It
it as
was
is.
approved, so we have to move. How about 28? Is there a motion for 28 if that's what you'd like?
Yeah, table that one too.
Okay. Is there a second? Can you make that motion for?
Yes.
Right. Is there a second to table number 28 and discuss in closed session?
You can't do one without the other.
Yeah,
Right, I mean,
it's inside to.
Yeah, because you can't
specify
be
if
one
you do
without the
27.
other position.
They're technically two separate resolutions,
tied.
so I would make a motion just to keep it clean on the second one. There's a motion for 28, is there a second? No second? Second? So we have no second, so.
well, I voted no on the first one, so I can't,
So we don't have a
second
second to
So
table.
can we
21.
re-vote on the first?
Technically, no.
No.
No. You could approve them as the treasurer's school monies. Doesn't matter.
We don't have a second, so we can't.
We need one. We need one, so. Okay. Okay, so this is for resolutions 1 through 28 on the agenda, minus number 15 and minus number 27.
And 6.
Everyone clear? And 6, what about 6? You want to vote it on separately?
Yes.
And number 6, okay.
And now question, can number 28 be without number 27?
Yes.
Okay.
Resolutions number 1 through 20 on the agenda, excluding number 15, which was removed from consideration, number 27, which will be discussed after closed session, and resolution number 6, which will be voted on separately. Everyone clear?
yes,
Yes.
Okay. Biner.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Drogan.
Yes.
Ferrara.
Yes.
Haberthur.
Yes.
Wadati.
yes,
Tears.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
Panici.
Yes.
Motions carry unanimously. This is for resolution number 6 on the agenda. Biner.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Drogan.
Abstain.
Ferrara.
Yes.
Haberthur.
Yes.
Wadati.
yes,
Tears.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
Panici.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Can I have a motion at this time, please, to go into closed executive session? A second?
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Drogan, seconded by Mr. Haberth. All those in favor of going to closed session, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, ayes have it, motion carried. Mr. Ganella?
Okay, be it resolved by the Board of Education, the Board of Education meet in private session, from which the public shall be excluded to discuss the topics of personnel, the superintendent's annual evaluation, the superintendent's annual contract, and KEA negotiations, which private discussion is being held pursuant to Section 7B and 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act. Matters under discussion will be disclosed to the public as soon as final decisions are made and voted upon. Biner?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Drogan?
Yes.
Ferrara?
Yes.
Haberthur?
Yes.
Wadati?
yes.
Tears?
Yes.
Zimmerman?
Yes.
Panici.
Yes.
We are now in closed session.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Good evening. See you at graduation.
5. Number 27 on the agenda, which is the appointment of Mr. Davies as the superintendent of schools. Mr. Biner.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Drogan.
Yes.
Ferrara.
Yes.
Hamether.
Yes.
Wadati.
Yes.
Tiers.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
No.
Panici.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-1.
Excellent, thank you very
Good.
much. Can we please have a motion to go back into closed session?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Tiers. I believe Paula was
Congratulations,
first.
Jeremy.
Congratulations, Jeremy.
Seconded by Mrs. Drogan. All those in favor of going into closed session? And again,
Didn't all vote for superintendent.
please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And I
Okay, ayes
voted
have
I
it.
didn't
Mr.
like
Ganello, do you
Hershey.
need to read
I
the
didn't
statement
want
again
Hershey.
to go back into closed again? Or?
I lost the votes.
Mr. Ganello, do you need to read the statement again, go back into closed or no?
No.
Okay, we're now in closed session. Bruno,